This is your in-depth tutorial for Ultimate Hot Girl Makeup Brown Skin Edition. Hi everyone, I'm Nina Davallori. I'm a former Miss America filmmaker activist. I love sharing all my big sis advice, and today is clearly a beauty video. So before we get into it, subscribe to the channel, that helps out a lot, and comment on what looks you would like to see next. Okay, here we go. Tonight is date night. Let's get started. The key to good makeup is a good base, and that is true, but you don't need a ton of products on your face. You just need a really good moisturizer. Makeup by Mario taught me that, and he is a master in makeup. I use the KIEHL'S moisturizer, and I really love this one. It's so hydrating. Slather it on. You're gonna think that you only need like a little bit, but like no, be generous. It's gonna set the tone for the rest of your hot girl makeup for the night out. You wanna be moisturized. You're going to the club, you're gonna get dehydrated, chances have it. Make sure you're gonna drink your water. Some big sis advice that I definitely did not take and should have more than when I was going out. But hey, you know what? We made it. We all make mistakes. Live and learn, as we all shall. And I'm gonna use a little bit of the Benefit POREfessional primer, like right around my nose and chin areas, and just take that up. I'm going to use the YSL Blur Primer, and I like rubbing it between my hands and kind of pressing it into the skin and then going around. But I do make sure I get this around my eye area because that's the area I want it to be extra moisturized, because when you put setting powder on that, it's gonna get more dry than it already is, and we don't want that. I also like taking this primer down because we have to do a little bit for the collarbone when you're doing your night out hot girl makeup, right? Like I am, like that's what I'm gonna do. So we're gonna do it. And then the first thing I start with, and I like to start with, is brows, because eyebrows like frame your face and are gonna frame your entire makeup. Oh, my hands are so slippery now. So the Anastasia brow pencil in Ebony, and I have been loving this one, and I just gently kind of shape my brows. So for this makeup, I feel like you want to define your brow, but it doesn't need to be like so harsh. You also don't want to like wipe your brow out. Like if I went to the club, like that was like the first thing that would always go, is like I would just like forget, and like my entire eyebrow would come off. So I'm gonna show you a little trick at the end that I do to prevent that. I'm using the LANCôME Teint Idole foundation. I have been loving this foundation. I've talked about it so much. It's so pretty and it looks like so natural. I love this shade match. It is 410N, and I've actually been liking to use this as a brush. It gives like a glowy, like natural kind of finish where it looks very skin-like, and especially like if you're wearing like club clothes, is that what people say? Where like you're wearing clothes that are gonna show your like neck and collar. Like this is a perfect like shade match for me as a neutral girly, because it just blends so nicely and so effortlessly, which I really like. Less is more, truly, less is more. Like I used a little more than I probably should have normally because I do have a like bit of hyperpigmentation. This really does look so pretty. I love it. And next we are gonna go in with the contour and conceal. So I like at least just like sketching out my contour. Fenty Beauty contour stick in Truffle, and I like sort of just sketching a little bit of it out on my nose, not too much and not too little, and then define my sides. And you only need a little bit. Like I said, less is more. We're going for less. Blend those out a little. I take this into the eyebrow, which is kind of why you want at least like a define your brows first, and then I bring it down and shape it. And I don't like to do too much of a nose contour. Actually, who am I kidding? I do like to do a nose contour. I just don't, I mean like I don't change the shape of it. I guess like I'm not trying to change the shape of my nose. It's really just to like define it when in like pictures and photographs. What I've noticed is like for a little trick is that if I just take a little bit of that contour down on like the sides of my nose, it blends the lines so it doesn't look so harsh. I feel like I'll see like powder and then you'll see like the harsh lines on the side of the nose sometimes with contour. We don't want that. We want everything just like blending, 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 natural, natural, natural. And I feel like just taking a little bit down, like think of like a little triangle here, that actually looks really nice in person and on camera. I'm happy with that, and I'm also gonna take the contour into my crease. This is gonna be like the main shade I'm using for the night. And this is the Hourglass palette. I'm gonna link everything below in the description box, but seriously, this is the best palette I've ever bought. If they're selling a palette like this, like do not hesitate to buy it. It's the best thing to travel with. I love it so much. I gifted it to Ryan's sister for Christmas like 2 years ago. That's how much I love it. Like, you know you love something when you're like gifting it to your, well, boyfriend at the time, but fiance's sister. Like, you're not gonna give them like shitty products, you know? Like, I mean, you shouldn't be giving anyone like bad products, hopefully. But you know, you wanna get them like something luxury nice that like typically like it's a great gift because like it's not something that you might consider buying for yourself sometimes, but if you have like a makeup lover in your family, they're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. I love it. Oh, my foot's falling asleep. Oh gosh. I am not cut out for the club anymore, you guys, but that does not mean I'm not gonna do some hot girl makeup, right? Like, of course I am. This is the Natasha DenonaI palette that I'm using, and I really like this light neutral shade because I feel like that gives like this pretty matte look on your lids that you want, and then the contour gives it like dimension and definition, which is what we're looking for. And then we're gonna do concealer before we do our eyeliner. So with concealer, I am going to use 2 different shades. I'm going to use the Makeup by Mario. This is in 380, and I'm gonna put a little bit, and then I'm gonna mix it with the Patrick Starrr in medium dark 4. This is the One Size brand, and I just like really like how these 2 shades look together. Like, they just blend nicely, and I feel like it's gives me like that perfect shade that I'm looking for. And I'm gonna take my blender and blend. Always a beauty blender with the under eye concealer. I don't think I've ever used anything else except for this beauty blender, because once I got introduced to this, I was never going back. You can use like a Pawpaw too. You don't need to like use specifically like the beauty blender brand. I feel like Pawpaw is on my Amazon store. The ones I use, I really love. Those are like a great everyday one, but I'm using my nice beauty blender because it's hot girl makeup. But seriously, you could get the same look with just the Pawpaw. Not gonna lie. I'm just taking a little bit up the side of my nose, and then I'm gonna go take a little bit down the bridge of my nose. And then you blend it upwards because that's gonna give you that nice like snatched lift that we want, that we're going for. And then I'll take a little bit more of this contour on top and blend that out a little more too. I used to drag it all the way down, but I've found that like it's actually much nicer if you just like do it halfway and then blend up, and that gives like the plenty of definition that you need, especially for like a lighter, like a more, you know, natural looking, not natural face, if that makes sense. People who are not into makeup do not fully understand the amount that goes into a look like this. It's almost easier to just do like a full face when you know you're doing like a full face. Like, I feel like always doing like a natural, like everyday look is harder than like knowing you're gonna do like a full beat, which like this is kind of like a full beat. It's just in like a different subtle technique kind of way. Which is like why I'm like, oh, like you can't use too much product. It's like a Goldilocks. It has to be just right to get it right. But this is turning out pretty good the way that I want it. I'm going to add my blush on. So before I do any setting powders, you want to do your blush first. Cream and cream go together, and then when you do the powder, you top it off with a powder. So for this one, I'm using like a really pretty pinky. I love this Patrick Ta. It's She's the Moment, and it's like just like the prettiest little pink like blush that's so girly and so cute. And like it was perfect for like spring and summer, but like I am taking this into winter because I just really love how it looks. And I feel like this is like that really pretty, like just rosy pink soft glow that we kind of associate with the hot girl look, I think. Which also, I feel like every look is a hot girl look, like you do you. Like this is just feels like a specific vibe that I was requested to do, like night out, going out, club, hot girl makeup. But I think every kind of makeup look is a hot girl look, you know? Like we're all hot in our own way. You don't have to do your makeup a certain way to be hot. I feel like this is just a way to do your makeup and look. It's not necessarily the only way for a hot girl look or whatever you're feeling that day or whatnot, but I'm gonna just blend out, soften my nose contour a little bit. See what I mean? I feel like you can see it better now when I'm doing like a little bit of that triangle sort of, and like kind of softening these lines. So I'm using a little bit more of the Diffused Heat blush. I'm mixing these together, and I'm gonna top off the Patrick Ta powder or blush with this one, and I feel like this like sets it but also gives like a really pretty highlight, and so I don't need to add in that highlighter because I feel like you still want like that from like within glow. And when you put on highlighter, especially like on top of everything, I feel like it tends to get, it just looks a little more done up, like it just looks more shimmery, and this gives you like a subtle glow without being like so sparkly, I guess is the vibe that I'm looking for right now. And I'm gonna do a little highlight right down the bridge of my nose to see how everything is coming. Yep. Here for it. I love that. Adds so much. And I'm also gonna go ahead and do the inner corners of my eye and then into like the first third of my eyelid, like almost like diffusing it into like the first third. Maybe like a little half, I would say now. I love using highlighter for this because highlighter is made to reflect, and so this is gonna reflect that light without being like such a shimmery eyeshadow. It's gonna be more subtle because highlighter is typically more subtle than eyeshadow, and so this actually gives you that glow without the feeling of being way too like done up. Comment below, what kind of looks are people into right now? Like I just thought this was like a fun one to do, and definitely like I'm kind of doing this because like honestly Ryan and I have not been on a date night and like I don't know, like it's been a couple weeks where it's like purely just been a date night, and we usually do date night like once a week, so I'm like excited, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get ready, like I'm not gonna not get ready for a date night. And I was kind of like feeling the hot girl vibe tonight. So I was like, all right, let's do this. Also popping a little bit of that same highlighter just right under my brow bone. Don't drag it down because then that drags everything down. So I just put a little bit in the middle and then here. I feel like, do you see the subtle shimmer? Like I really just love, it's so pretty. I love how that looks. All right, now it is setting powder time for my under eye. This is getting longer than I thought it would be, but we're gonna do a full tutorial. Like this is not, we're not playing around here. I'm gonna do just a tiny little more dot of concealer of this one just to make sure, you know, like especially if you get sweaty like I do, it's nice to just make sure you have like a little bit of security, which like this is just like the little security that makes me feel better. This is a really nice formula. I feel like it's so creamy and it just blends nicely because Mario is so gifted. So if he's making something, I'm glad that it's actually delivering. Okay, now that I have carefully done that, it's setting powder time, and this is like crucial for this look. So you're going to immediately like make sure everything is the way you want it in terms of your under eye, and then you're gonna dip into your powder and set it immediately. And I gently apply it here, and then I'm gonna do it the same on the other eye. Like this eye could use a little more. And for this look, you do bring a little bit of it down to my smile lines. And then the snatched look comes when you do powder right under your contour. See, you can like already see it shaping up. So I'm gonna leave it for a little bit to let it bake, because for night out makeup, you're gonna wanna let it bake. You gotta let her bake for sure, non-negotiable. And then in the meantime, now I'm gonna do my liner. So I have always done a winged liner. Like, I just love a winged liner. It's always been like one of my signatures since like middle school, honestly, is when I started wearing winged liner. And my mom was also really into winged liner, surprisingly. Like, she actually always really loved it. And that's kind of why I like got onto it. I think I always just thought it was so classic and pretty, which it is. Okay, so the biggest thing with this type of makeup, if you want like the hot girl sort of trend makeup, is that you're gonna take your liner almost not up to the brow when you do the wing. You're gonna take it a little further out to the side and then connect it. And I have hooded eyes, so I'm gonna try and avoid that crease in the middle of my eyelid as much as possible. And so that comes with like taking it out, and it kind of lengthens everything. So let's see if I can show you. Okay, so this is like what's gonna give you that like extended kind of look that we want. And I ended it just halfway into my brow, or into my eyelid. Like the halfway point is where I took the liner and just let it almost like fade out, if you can see how I did it. So now I'm gonna tightline, and I'm gonna take this all the way into the corner. And I see like a little space that like looks a little sparse. I'm just gonna fill in with the liner. I'm gonna take it in a little bit on the bottom as well. I saw like a little bit where they connected it into the crease here. I haven't done this in so long. I used to do this all the time in middle school and high school. That was like how I did my makeup, and it's just been like so long since I've done it. Mascara, which I forgot, so please hold. I'm actually gonna take out a brand new mascara for this. This is the LANCôME Hypnose Drama Mascara. And this gives you like really fluttery like lashes, which I feel like this look calls for. And there's nothing. I'm gonna focus more on my outer lashes and just a tiny bit blink into the front half of my lashes. And y'all know me, I always go in on the back side, and I'm gonna do that again. Be patient with this, you guys. Like, I promise it works if you're just like a little patient. You work with the mascara, it's your friend. You have to work while it's still wet. Don't worry about this like fallout on the top. You can clean that up after. You can definitely add a little lash to this one. I did win the genetic lottery with lashes. Like, there's no secret that I'm gatekeeping here. I've shown you all the tricks with my lashes. It's literally just Mama D and Papa D have outdone themselves, so I can't take any credit for it either, really. I'm gonna take more of this contour and pop it under my eyes, and this just gives it a little smoky definition without being like too smoky. I use this to also like soften this inner corner of the liner. I'm gonna let it dry a little, and I'm going to dust off all of the setting powder, or the powder. Actually, wait, let me contour around my face first. Just a little on the jawline. When you do it like this, it just looks so, so pretty. Like, you can see like the powder has like settled in to like the face, and it just looks so airbrushed and pretty, and like the makeup look that we all want, or at least the one that I'm looking for today, I guess. And this is also where I go in a little and just kind of go through this nose contour again, making sure it kind of like diffuses the powder into the contour and there's not such a huge separation. all of that fallout that we had from the mascara, we are going to clean up. Like take the dark contour shade and flick it all off with the brush. And that kind of also gives like a little bit of this like a little smudgier, smokier line, but like not smoky eye, you know? It's like just take it to the brink of an almost smoky eye. That's where we want to live. That's where we're gonna go with this. Okay, now I'm gonna finish up my brows, which they're looking okay. I'm just gonna darken them. I feel like I kind of like how they're looking a little messy. And I always love like a feathered brow. I don't really do trends, especially brow trends, because I feel like you know your brows the best, and like you don't need to be doing 100 different crazy things if you found something that works for you. And I found like when you use this spoolie, it just looks a little more natural when you comb everything out. And because we want these to last all night long, I'm gonna top it off with this brow gel. This is the Got To Be. I got it on Amazon. It's like $7. And honestly, this is the best brow gel ever. I also use this on like my edges. If I want to like slick back a pony or something, like this really does like hold up for the most of it for the night. Like I did my engagement photos on a super hot day and I was like, I need this because otherwise my brows are gonna sweat off and that's gonna be tragic. So we are at the home stretch, y'all. I know it's been a minute. Dobby's getting restless. He needs to go out. So there's a lot happening, but we are at the final home stretch and I'm going to do my favorite lippy combo. So I am gonna go in with the Mented Foxy liner. This is a really pretty brown. I feel like hot girl lips are the really pouty kind. And then I'm just gonna top all of this off with the Lawless Forget the Filler Gloss. I've never had filler, I don't plan to have filler ever. Seriously, feels so nice and gives you the pout that you're gonna want, like that perfect, effortless pout almost, even though like you put a lot of effort in, like make it look extra pouty. So if I really wanted, this is me getting picky, like this just like gives you a little more definition around the lips. Again, I don't like think you need it, but these are, it's like these little small, little subtle things that really do like make a big, it takes like your makeup up from like, oh, that looks nice to like, ooh, did she have it done? Like, did she get it done? Because it's like these little attention to details that gives it that extra layer, which I'm not gonna lie, people always ask me who did my makeup and I'm like, wah, I did, me, myself, and I. So this is my final look, I think, you guys. Like, let's take the hair down. 100% the look I would have worn in my clubbing days, night out days, girls' night, whatever, date night days. Call it hot girl look, whatever you want. But I love how this look turned out. If you liked this look, please subscribe, comment with what other looks you would like for me to do. I would love to play around and create them or recreate them. I was thinking about like recreating my Miss America look, but that, I don't know, it feels like so much effort. So if people want that, I will do it. So comment below and let me know if you want that. And yeah, share with someone. I hope this look really works for you. So yeah, that is it. I am off for my date night. Oops. And I will see you next time. Bye.